Hey, welcome to the gym. Today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about grace, faith, and unbelief. And how many remember those boxes at the restaurants and stuff? They're a big giant box and they've got toys inside of it, and then you put your 50 cents or dollar in, and it's got the claw that goes out, and you got to get it just right when you see what you want to get, and then you drop it on there, and the claw tries to grab it and bring it up and drop it in that, puts it in that box. You remember that? That's kind of what grace is. See, grace is the box with everything you want or everything you need is inside that box. And the great thing is they're unlimited credits. If you miss the first time and you run out of time, you just push that button and you get a new credit. Now, what we have a problem with is two things. One, our faith and time on that machine. And time really correlates to unbelief for us. See, because while we are using our faith to grab what God's provided, if we don't get it in time, what happens is on the machine, time runs out, bang, and you got to put more quarters in. Well, for us, the longer it takes for us to obtain what God has provided for us, unbelief starts to creep in. So when you, in real life, when you're playing this game, time is against you. And in real life and spiritually, while we're trying to obtain God's promises using our faith, unbelief is against us. And so that's why it's so hard. Sometimes you get prayed for sickness or finances. It doesn't come right away. Unbelief starts to creep in. And then all of a sudden we think, well, it's just not for me, it's for somebody else, or it's just not God's will, blah, blah, blah. What we have to do is stop the unbelief. You know, there's a scripture in Luke where Jesus healed a man's daughter, and he says, you know, all things are possible to those that believe. And the man says, I believe, but help my unbelief. And that, man, that is powerful, because we all have a little bit of unbelief inside of us. And that's what prevents us from getting God's promises, not our lack of faith, because we have the faith of Jesus in us. Which brings me to another point. We have to learn to operate in Jesus' faith. And really all that is Jesus' faith got us salvation. Jesus' faith got us everything. So all we have to do is just receive it. Just wait for it to get here. And start looking for it. And so, because, see, this is the other thing. When that claw goes out and it grabs something, it's a pretty weak claw. You know that. You see the fingers is like real weak. That's because we're using our faith. But when we have faith in the faith of Jesus, that thing goes out there and wham! It grabs a hold of it. It obtains it and it doesn't let go. And it brings it back. That's just like our salvation. Jesus obtained our salvation with his faith. And it ain't weak. And it holds on to us. So, I hope this encouraged you. When you start going with your faith, it's okay. Because God provides faith for us. He gives us a measure of faith in that grace. Grace provides faith. And when you start to sense that you don't believe, like, oh, this might not be for me, when that whisper comes in your ear and says, it's probably not God's will. Bull. It is God's will. It's unbelief trying to creep in and change your life and make God's promises of no effect to you because it's unbelief. Okay? So, exercise your faith and work on trusting and relying in the faith of Jesus so that it's easier to, obtain that stuff and bring it back to you so you can obtain all of God's promises. Okay? Well, thank you for visiting the gym, and you have a great weekend.